Welcome back. COVID-19 has left a bitter aftertaste for the sugar industry, and with cheap imports, billions of rands are being lost. The SA Cane Growers Association is calling for support ahead of the State of the Nation address tomorrow, but in particular it wants the sugar industry master plan to be fast-tracked. I'm right now joined by Andrew Russell, the Vice-chairperson of the association. Mr. Russell, thank you so much for your time and welcome to the show. So for some context, let's start here. Just take us back to when that master plan was signed last year and what exactly it was intended for.
Good morning. Yes, so the master plan is specifically tailored for the sugar industry to bring it back to a more sustainable space. It's been in a steady plan over the last decade or so due to a number of factors. And the master plan aims to bring all of the stakeholders together to work towards improving the state of the sugar industry as a whole and the role within the South African economy.
Right. And it's no secret the impact of COVID-19 on different industries has been severe, including the sugar industry. But what are some of the threats that have been faced by the sugar industry?
Okay, so the recent threats have been, as you said earlier, the consequence of imports of cheap, which mean that our locally produced sugar has to be exported at a loss and therefore affects the profitability not only of the sugar mills but also of the farmers that supply those mills.
And for someone, who's listening and doesn't really know the details of the value chain as far as the sugar industry is concerned, I need you to please just paint a picture here of the value chain and those stakeholders affected. I mean, we're talking about small-scale growers, when we talk about, some of the workers, some of the jobs with which currently are in the industry. In terms of numbers, what are we talking about here?
Yes, so the sugar industry stretches throughout the full length of KwaZulu-Natal and right up into the Lowveld in Mpumalanga. And there are over 60,000 direct jobs that the sugar industry creates. And those are just the direct jobs. There's that are dependent on the sugar industry for their income and for their well-being. And so, as you said, there are over 20,000 growers that supply 14 sugar mills within South Africa. And all of those farmers employ farm workers. Many of them are small-scale growers in rural areas of KwaZulu-Natal and Mpumalanga. And they contribute significantly to the economic output of those deep rural areas. Of course, every mill also has a large number of employees, and those mills are not situated in the urban areas. They're situated out in the deep rural areas where they also have requirements in terms of labor and skills, and so they, as well as procurement. So they really do have a significant impact on the livelihood and the well-being of those rural communities.
Absolutely. And with that being said, I assume that this is part of the reason why you have written to the President, you've written to both Minister Patel and Minister Didiza, seeking support ahead of the State of the Nation address. What support have you expressed in your letter to the President?
Yes, so the master plan consists of a number of commitments from the various stakeholders. One of the commitments that government has made is that they will make every attempt to procure local sugar for all of their entities and their government departments. And we're encouraging them to fulfill that commitment and offering our assistance to help them to make that happen. In addition, the local retailers have committed to procure 80% of their sugar from local supply. And we would like to also take steps to help them to fulfill that commitment also.
Yeah, and with that being said, I mean, Mr. Russell, I know that you also launched the Home Sweet Home campaign. Was this also in alignment with the master plan?
Absolutely in alignment, yes. So one of the objectives of the master plan is to improve or increase local demand of sugar. And in fulfilling that, we launched, as you said, the Home Sweet Home campaign in December. And we're continuing with that. It started off in KwaZulu-Natal, and we've rolled it out in the Gauteng area.
All right, then we'll leave it right there. Thank you so much for joining us. That was Andrew Russell, Vice-chairperson of the SA Cane Growers Association.